Last week, I got a challenging question from a viewer. One of the more difficult ones I have received, and I spent a little more time on this video than normal. They said, hey, we really like the Money Guys. They're another YouTube content creator. I listen to them a lot. Two guys, Money Guys. They have their financial order of operations. Okay, they have their, I think it's 9 steps. I'm going to show them in a second of how to begin saving money, where to save it at, emergency funds, that kind of stuff. Dave Ramsey has his baby steps. Joe, do you have a retirement order of operations or a retirement process that somebody could follow? Well, I've come up with one that is a draft. Okay, so I need input here. This is a draft for you to give me comments, what you like, what you don't like. And as I'm saying it, I got 10 steps. I don't want 100 steps. I'd like to keep it around, 8 to 13 or so, but we'll see how this goes and see if I missed anything that's dramatic or if you like what I started with. So let's get going. I'm breaking another one of my rules here, but I think it's the best to get my message out here is I am going to use PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I don't like using PowerPoint. I used it way too much at work. But here you go. My first slide here is Money Guys. Give them full credit for this financial order of operations. You get your deductibles covered. I'm not going to go into detail on these, okay? You can Google it or look them up on YouTube. Number 2, you get your employer match on your 401k, get your high interest debt paid off, have emergency reserves, start investing in your Roth and HSA. That's an autocorrect, has. Okay, sorry about that. Number 6 is maxing out your retirement. I guess that's your 401k. Number 7, hyper accumulation. Just keep on saving. Number 8, prepaid future expenses like college. And then low interest debt like your mortgages last. So that's their financial order of operations. There's a lot of background, a lot of videos on this. Check those guys out. Good stuff, financial order of operations. Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Save $100 for starter emergency fund. Number 2, pay off all debt except for the house. I'm looking at that $100. Is that $100 or is that, did I not put 1,000 in there? Check me out on that. Maybe 1,000. Pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. Number 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in fully funded emergency fund. I'm pretty confident that's $1,000, number 1. That's part of the editing here from you guys. Number 4, invest 15% of your household income for retirement. Number 5, save for children's college fund. Number 6, pay off your home mortgage. Number 7, build wealth and give. So completely different list, not overlap, but different list that Dave Ramsey has. And you decide what makes sense for you or none of it. So the question to me is, Joe, what about retirement? Is there an order of operations or baby steps or a process for that? Well, here you go. Joe's retirement planning process. I probably need to work a little bit on a flashy title. Maybe you can help me with that. I didn't want to use retirement order of operations. That's kind of infringing on the Money Guys, so I just didn't want to do that. But I'm going to read this list of 10, and then I've got a few pages afterwards going into detail, okay? So number 1, get excited. Get excited about what you're retiring to. Number 2, get alignment with your spouse. Number 3, educate yourself. Number 4, know your expenses. Number 5, adjust your investments to include safety along with your growth. Number 6, plan and model. Number 7, get professional insight, a review, or a plan, okay, from a professional. Number 8, give notice. Number 9, create a process to review your status. How are you doing? And number 10, adapt along the way. Greatly undervalued. We have the ability to adapt. Most of you that are thinking about retirement, you've been planners your whole life. Don't discount your ability to adapt along the way. You don't need a perfect plan. Okay, so let's dive into these 10. Here's number 1, get excited. What are you retiring to? This is going to have a big impact on your expenses. This can, imagine you want to buy an RV. Imagine you want to travel the world. Imagine you want to downsize your house or upsize your house or move your location. Who knows? This is the push you need to jump. You need to get excited about something. Otherwise, you're going to get trapped into working one more year. How are you going to get socialization, purpose, and fulfillment? Volunteer. All these things can have a financial component to them. So get excited. Get excited. Number 2, alignment with your spouse. I have this early on. Okay. Are you and your spouse both planning to relocate, downsize, buy an RV? What costs money? Somebody planning on playing golf, twice a day, every day. Is part-time work involved? Do you have an expensive hobby? Maybe you want to collect RVs or motorboats or motorcycles. That can be expensive. What's the average day look like? Just your average run-of-the-mill Tuesday. Does your wife and you agree on what you're going to be doing during that time? Okay. Number 3, this is the biggest category I got, is educate yourself. And this is constant, never changing, always an umbrella over everything you're doing for retirement. And I've listed a few things here to make sure you look at. Social Security, inflation, investment options and returns. What are equities? What are bonds? What are index funds, mutual funds, annuities, CDs, money market funds? Lots of options beyond these and deeper than these, okay? What is sequence of return risk? What's the market history? What are the realities of investing in the stock market? What is diversification? What are growth stocks, dividend stocks, international stocks, small cap, mid cap, large cap stocks? What's that mean? What's that mean? Asset allocation, equities to fixed, and why? Why do you have, 60-40 in your portfolio, or 80-20 or 50-50? What's the benefit of that? What's the trade-offs? Asset location, pre-tax, post-tax, no tax. No tax would be Roth. Pre-tax would be like your IRA or 401k. Medicare. Medicare is not free. When's it kick in? What are your options there? Long-term care costs, taxes, RMDs. What's Monte Carlo? A lot of your software programs use Monte Carlo. What are the trade-offs there with Monte Carlo? Is there a perfect number to get? How are you going to withdraw money and why? And from what account? Okay, just a lot of education. You can get most of it from YouTube. There's a lot of great content creators out on YouTube these folks are certified financial planners, and you can type in any one of these words in YouTube and you'll get a plethora of opportunities to learn. And I found them to be very well done. Number 4, know your expenses. This is a big deal. I really wanted to start this list with know your expenses, but that doesn't make sense as I wrote these out and changed the order of them. That includes your health insurance. Don't forget about your health insurance plan if you're before 65 here in the United States. Make sure you have go spending, slow-go spending, no-go spending, and one-time expenses included. You have a long-term care plan, so kind of craft what your expenses are. Number 5 is adjust your investments to include safety along with growth. Retirement, one of the toughest challenges is to move out of maximizing returns, that mindset of maximizing returns, to I need some safety. I've won the game. Okay, I've won the game. How do I get a little safety inside of my investments so I don't have all the market drama causing me significant stress and maybe even going back to work because I took too much risk? Okay, market drama. And this is all unique to you. Okay, this is one of the more complicated things about retirement is determining your investment mix based on your ability to handle this stress. You could be 60-40, 50-50. I'm currently 80-20. Do you need annuities? Do you need fixed income to cover your base expenses? So you may say, I want Social Security and annuity to cover all my baseline expenses. I can live underneath that and everything else is gravy on top. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's you. Maybe you got a pension. But how are you going to adjust your investments to include some safety? I have 10 years of expenses included in my fixed income, like my pension that I get. I got some deferred comp, and then I have a lot of bonds and CDs. I don't have CDs anymore, but I also have a money market fund. Okay, so how are you going to get some safety in your portfolio? That's number 5. Number 6, plan and model. Okay, Excel. So many people want to use Excel. I've used Excel, had about 10 spreadsheets when I was creating my plan, and then I discovered a comprehensive software package that it's all in there. It's called Boldin. First link below. Check it out. Free 2 weeks. So this is under plan and model. You may hire a certified financial planner to do a plan only for you. That's a good idea. Maybe you do all above. I do not encourage you to just turn everything over to a certified financial planner 100% and say, tell me how much money I got. You got to be it's your money. Only you love it as much. Nobody cares more than you about your money. So make sure you know what you're doing. Boldin is a cheap solution. You can use Excel to supplement your plan. Sorry about that. Talking too much. Make your plan work. Monte Carlo. I like to have a Monte Carlo of 85, but it's more important that you know what levers move that up and down. 85 is not a perfect score or anything like that. It goes up to 100. But if you're at 100, maybe you're working too long. If you got a Monte Carlo score of 100, Boldin only goes to 99. But I think it's important not only to come up with a plan that solves and gives you, say anything above a 85. That's easy to do. All you got to do is adjust your spending, adjust your rates of return and inflation. You can make it work, but are you lying to yourself? So put reasonable numbers in there from your education. And then once you say you get a 90, how can you make that fail? How can you make that go down to like 75? What happens? Is it high inflation? Is it high expenses, unplanned expenses, retiring earlier than you expected? Maybe you were going to plan on retiring at 62 and you're forced to retire at 60. You can make it fail. And then once it fails, okay, what levers do I have to make it recover again? Maybe you change your investment portfolio. Maybe it's working, one more year. Maybe it's working part-time or getting paid in a hobby. Make your plan solve, make it fail, make it solve again. Okay. It's an iterative process. Know the levers. What's important when you create your plan, you know the levers. Timing of Social Security is a big one. Expenses is a big one. Rates of return is another big one. Longevity. Expenses. A lot of people just put in, hey, I'm going to spend $8,000 a month from now until I'm 95. Well, people don't usually spend that way. What's the normal spending look like? There's go, slow go, no-go years, okay? Know all those things. And how are you going to withdraw money? Why are you going to withdraw money a certain way? Usually it's around taxes. How you withdraw is a big deal on taxes and how long your nest egg will last. If you withdraw, for example, from an equity when the stock market's down 30, 40, 50%, you're taking a large percentage withdrawal. You'd like to pull out of some of your safety money, maybe bucket one money. Okay, and this is what I did to make this order of operations work, Joe's retirement process. After you plan and model, you go back to step 1. You go all the way back to step 1 and go through the process again. Okay, get excited, get on board with your spouse, know your expenses, go through the process again. So go back to step 1. Okay, after you've gone through to, step 6 a second, or maybe even a third time, you just keep cycling through, then you can move on to step 7. You feel pretty good about your plan, get professional insights, review, or plan. You can't go alone, folks. I've got hundreds and hundreds of examples of people that thought they had a good plan. They sat down with a professional, sat down with somebody else, and found 2, 3, 10, 12 things that they misunderstood. It was just a mistake. It was a formula error in an Excel sheet. I just hear that way too much. And people don't know what they don't know. I did not understand taxes. Taxes is a huge one for most folks. I've got options for going with a professional. You know, you can get a $300 plan review. You hit the links below. I have two options for you. I'll get in a plan review. If you want a plan created, I've got an option for you to do that. Check out those options, but don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let your ego get in the way. Okay, you've been a champ for saving money and getting to this point, but retirement is much more complex. Consider the advice that you get. Do not delegate 100% of the authority of managing your money to anybody. And then again, after that advice, go back to step one. Go back to your I think it's, I don't even remember what was on. Get excited. But that professional advice, priceless. You got to get it. They may offer you something that allows you to retire 2 or 3 years earlier. You may say, hey, wait a second, I can get excited again. And then I get alignment with my spouse because we're going to retire 2 years earlier. What are my expenses? And you just keep going, go back up to step one. Once you've gone through from 6 back up to 1 a couple times, and then 7 back up to 1 a couple times, and you're spinning around this process. Number 8, give notice. I have a video on this. So look up Joe Give Notice. Joe Kuhn Give Notice. That's a short one. Number 9, create a process to review your status. Okay, how's your spending going? How are your returns doing? How's inflation? You got to come up with a process to have confidence to spend. A lot of people discount this. I've had no problem spending for 60 years. Why do I need confidence to spend? Well, you've had income coming in. Once you are trying to live off your nest egg, the whole game changes. So have a review process. I've got several videos on that. I do it once a quarter. I have a process that includes an Excel document managing my buckets. It includes going into Boldin. It includes looking at my investments. That's basically it. Okay, but that gives me great confidence to spend. I do it once every 3 months. Takes me a couple hours. Okay, and then number 10, adapt along the way. Okay, your plan is guaranteed to be wrong. You're not going to get the right rates of return. You're not going to get the right inflation. You're not going to use the right tax rules. Okay, your Social Security, you're probably not going to take it exactly when you thought you were. You're not going to retire on the date you thought you were. So adapt along the way, which is a human superpower. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Know the levers, educate yourself, adapt along the way. So there you go. Joe's retirement planning process. Get excited. Get alignment with your spouse. Educate yourself. Know your expenses. Adjust investments to include safety with your growth. Plan and model. Get professional insight. Give notice. Create a process to review the status of how everything's going. And then 10, adapt along the way. What do you think? This is a draft for your input. Not my final form. I'd love to get 1 or 2, 10, 1,000 changes. Not 1,000. I really don't. Like I said, I like to keep it around 10 steps, which is I'm currently at, but I'm open to input. Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments. This show out.